shout out Ron Swanson, where he takes a picture of Big Ben and he's like, "Oh look, a clock. We don't have that in America." With the reigning AFC champions, the Cincinnati Bengals, Skyline Chili for days. Historic franchise. What we got? What we got about the Bengals?
Dude, on paper, this team is stacked.
They got a lot better in the offseason.
They are like that defense is already pretty stacked. They got to get Eli Apple out of the lineup. Cam Taylor-Britt might take that spot. It's tough to know until training camp, but they used the number 60 pick on Cam Taylor-Britt out of Nebraska, I believe. I'd expect him to compete pretty heavily with Eli Apple on that outside corner spot. The rest of this defense is pretty nasty. I mean, they don't have a marquee name that you really look for. But adding Daxton Hill back there at safety is going to be big for them.
I like Daxton Hill a lot. I love that pick.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do at nickel between him and Mike Hilton, like who ends up taking the nickel snaps. Yeah, I mean, you got the strength with Mike Hilton there already. You might just stick with that. But
yeah, and then you have one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, and Joe Burrow slinging that rock for you with T. Higgins, who's incredible, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase, who exploded, came onto the scene and just exploded all over everybody.
It's quite a way of putting that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean,
showed no mercy.
If their O-line improved a lot, honestly, I think it got kind of understated. Yeah, if Lyle Collins can stay on the field, like Jonah Williams wasn't a problem last year. He honestly hasn't been a problem in his career. It's just he missed his rookie year, and then so his second year he played more like a rookie.
Alex Kapp was big.
Yeah, Alex Kapp was a big get. Ted Karras will be interesting because he's really only done well with the Patriots. Like he left the Patriots for Miami 2 years ago, struggled in Miami, went back to the Patriots and did well again. So I'm interested to see how that works out for them there. And like you said with Lyle Collins, if he stays on the field, he's a very good right tackle. It's just a question of can he stay on the field.
He's a good run blocker too, so maybe Joe Mixon can keep it rolling. He had a pretty good season last year, even with who's their second running back that got some carries?
Oh, Samaje Perine.
Samaje.
I still have nightmares about him from Oklahoma against Texas Tech.
Yeah, there's a sweet little girl in Norman that has nightmares from Joe Mixon from her time in Norman, Oklahoma.
Absolutely does.
Broken face. People don't talk about it.
They should. So, moving on. A big question for me with them will be how Jackson Carman performs in his second year at left guard. That's the obvious black hole here on their O-line. As far as on paper.
What about Hayden Hurst?
Well, that's not O-line. That I was getting to Hayden Hurst. But Jackson Carman coming into his second year, I'd expect if Ted Karras is playing well at center, I'd expect Jackson Carman's play to come up a notch just from having a better unit around you. Yeah, I mean, you can speak to this more than I can, Jay. The O-line, like an individual on the O-line gets better by having better people around them and having better communication with them. And like, what do you think?
Yeah, being cohesive as an offensive line is almost better than having five studs that don't mesh very well.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Rams last year. Like, nobody on that line was very good, but yet, like, Matt Stafford rarely got touched. Like, and you had, Whitworth on the bookend. He was pretty good. Alex Mack at center was solid for him, but like all in all, that O-line was just kind of pieced together, and they all just meshed very well, and it worked for them. So, yeah. Cohesion is, in my opinion, the biggest thing on O-line, rather than having just five maulers or just studs for you that don't communicate well and are all out there just like bulldozing people, but then the linebacker runs right past them because they missed their assignment.
Yeah, it's only as good as the communication that goes with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
so on to the other weakness that I see on paper, which if you're looking at this graphic and you're seeing the linebackers and going, why aren't they calling linebackers a weakness? I do not trust PFF when it comes to linebacker grades at all. They are very confusing about just like you'll see guys like Darius Leonard and Roquan Smith or Fred Warner getting bad grades as linebackers, and then some guy you've never heard of getting very good grades. Like it's just linebackers probably, I would assume on film, if you're sitting there watching film and trying to grade it and not knowing the responsibilities that they were asked to do, the linebacker is a very difficult position to grade. I think safety is too, but it shows up in safety as well with PFF grades, but with linebackers especially, I feel like all the stuff, like the best linebackers in the league, are in the 60s.
No, yeah, I agree 100%. Don't really. That whole defense could be very good, like you were saying. I love Chidobe Awuzie. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I loved him in Dallas. Loved him last year. I love Daxton Hill coming in as safety. Master Bates up there at free safety.
Bates is a monster, man.
Very, very good. So
Logan Wilson in the middle is a very, very good linebacker. I was very impressed with watching him whenever I saw the Bengals play.
And a very, very tough AFC. I mean, you look at this division, and I like them a lot to repeat here. Division's gonna be tough. It's always tough. Everybody in that division plays tough, but don't really love the Ravens. Don't really love the Steelers. And I've said it. I was saying it last week. I just don't see any scenario Deshaun Watson plays very much this season, if any.
Yeah, I mean, I look at this and I say, there's only one position that Cincinnati didn't upgrade at or maintain, and that's tight end. And Hayden Hurst has been on the breakout list for 3 straight years, I feel like.
Any day now. But, I mean, having Joe Burrow there, who was their tight end last year?
CJ Uzoma, who was also on the breakout list for like 3 straight years before last year.
And then had a pretty good season last year.
Well, yeah, I think getting the pressure taken off you from Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd helps a tight end a lot. Like, if you can just run fast in a straight line, you can do well in this offense because of those guys.
So, yeah, they kind of got screwed by the Tom Brady news because forever Rob Gronkowski was like, I'll never play with anybody except Tom Brady. I'll never play with anybody except Tom Brady. Then Tom Brady retires. Then Gronk's like, I'll play with Joe Burrow. And they're like, oh, shoot, we're getting Gronk. You're probably getting him pretty cheap. I mean, he's not what he used to be, but he's a huge red zone threat and big third down guy. He's not going to block very well for you this late in his career. But would have been a huge get for him. And then Tom Brady's like, I changed my mind. And then Gronk's like, okay.
The next time Gronk joins us on the show, we got to ask him about that flip-flop.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, it wasn't a flip-flop. Tom's my guy. I was like, I get it, Gronk.
Looking back at the Bengals schedule here, though, they do got some tough games. Like, they got 3 teams in Atlanta, Carolina, and the Jets who are like, we're in the doldrums last year. I can't put the Jets as a potential playoff team yet, just until I see their rookies perform.
I mean, they play, in my opinion, they play the 2 easiest divisions in football, or 2 of the easiest divisions in football in the AFC East and the NFC South.
They only play 6 teams who were in the playoffs last year, which is light. Yeah, they just play a lot of teams in that middle area, you know? Yeah, the Cincinnati schedule, I just do not have a good feel for it. So, what do you think of these odds here?
The odds?
So, Cincy was plus 220 to win the division, 225.
I like that. I like that a lot. 2-1 odds. Give it to me.
Yeah. And then they were, I think, minus 100 to make the playoffs, which I think you're safe. Or minus 140 to make the playoffs. Here we go. We got the graphic back.
Yeah.
Plus 1075 for AFC champs, plus 1950 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know if I would like anything other than winning the division.
Yeah,
this is another division, kind of like we talked about last week. I don't know if 2 teams might come out of this division, but
I actually really, really like them at plus 200 to win the division.
Yeah, I like them.
I'm taking that bet.
I don't think I would lay the juice for minus 142 on playoffs because
no.
I mean, it's such a hard division that usually like you're gonna have 3 teams that are like 8-7 or
Yeah.
8-9. Excuse me. I still can't get over 17. I can't do math on 17 games, but yeah, I mean you're gonna have 3 teams around 500, and then the Browns are gonna be at 1-16 with no Deshaun Watson. Amari Cooper's gonna be pissed. Everybody's gonna want out, and they mortgage their future for a guy that'll never see the field. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think plus 200 is great value here for the Bengals.
yeah, love it. Tell us why we're wrong. Tell us why we're right. Tell us what you think. Let us know. Interact with the boys. And last but not least, don't sleep on the Lions.
Squad.